we mark the birth of the Duke on April 29th, 1899, 125 years ago today, in Washington, D.C. By the Duke, we are not here referring to the actor John Wayne, who was born on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa, but rather Edward Kennedy Duke Ellington, one of the greatest songwriters and composers ever to be born in the United States. Aside from their shared nickname, it would appear that the only thing Duke Ellington had in common with John Wayne was that they both suffered from lung cancer. In Ellington's case, his cancer killed him at the age of 75 on May 24, 1974, at the Columbia Presbyterian Medical Center in New York City. As I said, born in Washington, D.C., Ellington grew up at 2129 Ida Place, now Ward Place, in the district's West End neighborhood. His father, James Edward Ellington, worked as a blueprint maker for the Navy Department and on occasion as a butler, sometimes at the White House. His mother, Daisy, born Kennedy, was the daughter of formerly enslaved people. Theirs was a musical household. Both of Ellington's parents played the piano. We are told that James Edward Ellington preferred to play arrangements of operatic arias, while Daisy preferred the semi-classical parlor songs that were popular with the middle and upper middle classes at the time. And let us make no mistake, the Ellingtons were indeed of the upper middle class, sophisticated, educated, upwardly mobile, proud of their racial heritage, and unwilling to allow their children to be limited by the Jim Crow laws of the time. According to Studs Terkel, writing in his book, Giants of Jazz, quote, Daisy Ellington surrounded her son with dignified women to reinforce his manners and teach him elegance. His childhood friends noticed that his casual, offhand manner and dapper dress gave him the bearing of a young nobleman, unquote. It was that noble bearing that prompted Ellington's high school friend, Edgar McEntee, to come up with the nickname that Ellington wore so very well for so very long. According to Ellington himself, quote, I think he, Edgar McEntee, felt that in order for me to be eligible for his constant companionship, I should have a title. So he called me Duke, unquote. Given his family background, piano lessons were a must for the young Ellington. Having said that, like so many red-blooded American kids, Ellington preferred baseball, at which he excelled. In his autobiography, he recalled that, quote, President Theodore Roosevelt would come on his horse sometimes and stop and watch us play, unquote. For our information, Ellington's love of the game ran deep, and his first paying job was selling peanuts at Washington Senators games. Ellington's first piano teacher was the spectacularly named Marietta Clinkscales. Oh my God, who could make such a name up? As a teenager, he took up ragtime piano and studied harmony. Though as a teen, his growing love of music shared equal time with a real talent for painting and design. In 1917, during his senior year in Samuel Chapman Armstrong Technical High School, Ellington won a poster contest sponsored by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and was offered a scholarship by the Pratt Institute of Applied Art. But the Duke turned the scholarship down because he had decided, thank heavens, to pursue a career in music. Paying his dues. From there, Ellington began his climb up the musical ladder, slowly but steadily building his reputation as a pianist and as a leader of increasingly large musical groups, first in the Washington, D.C. area and then in New York City. He held down a variety of day gigs. He painted signs, worked as a messenger for the U.S. Navy and State Departments, and, after having moved to New York City, he hustled pool. Thank heavens, no one broke his thumbs, as happened to Paul Newman in the 1961 movie The Hustler. In September 1927, the 28-year-old Duke Ellington caught his big break. To find out about that big break and Ellington's subsequent rise to great fame, please join me for my Music History Monday podcast, which can be accessed on all podcast platforms, or enjoy the illustrated full-text ad-free version of this blog and much more on my Patreon channel.